Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Just Our Opinion. I appreciate you tuning in and watching. I hope if you like it when it's all said and done that you'll share it with your family and your friends and neighbors and people on Facebook you're friends with that you don't even know. Just share it with everybody. Get the word on out. Last week we had a great show. Had over 12,000 viewers. I think it was shared about 16, 18 times, somewhere like that. So we got the word out pretty good. And I appreciate you doing that. I want to thank Andy Johnson Builders. They're sponsoring our show this week. They're located in Summerville, Alabama. If you want to go more information about him, you can go to his website at andyjohnsonbuilders.com. andyjohnsonbuilders.com. And of course, Andy Johnson Builders is all one word, .com. They'll build houses on your land or their land. They have property located throughout Morgan County. Be glad to build it for you, or if you got your own lot, they'll come build on yours. So we appreciate Andy Johnson Builders. Thank you for sponsoring us this week. A few things we want to talk about today is, you know, we give out a lot of knowledge on this show. I know everybody that watches just learns something every week from us. And I know it's a lot of it is just life shattering. You just can't forget about it. I know a lot of people go to bed just thinking about, man, if I had not watched that show, I would not have known that. But one of the things I want to talk about today is grocery pickup. Now that is getting to be a hot item throughout the country, especially around here in North Alabama. I mean, you find out what you want, your grocery list, you make them out, and then you go to their website, or some of these stores have an app you can go to and just put your whole grocery list on there, everything you want. And then when you give them a few hours and then you just pull up to a parking spot they got designated just for pickup groceries. I mean, we used to have handicap, and we still do. That was a hot item, trying to get up as close as you could to the handicapped spots, but now they have spots just for grocery pickup people. Now it's really neat. My wife has started doing it a few times here lately. We've done it. A couple daughters has done it before, and you know, they love it. They just love it because one thing, you save money. Now I don't know if y'all are like we are, but in our household we can go in there with a list of about 8 items, and we'll come out with 47 items. You know, it's like we want to take stock in this grocery store when we're in there. But you know, when you do this call in, you don't have any of that. You know, you can't pull up there and load your stuff up and say, would you mind going back and getting me these other 3 items? They don't do that. You gotta have it on your list. So when you get there, they load them for you and put them in the car, and you come back home and you got everything you wanted that was on your list. But now just imagine how many thousands of dollars that you're saving in a year's time, because I know y'all are just like we are. You can't push a buggy down just the aisles you want. Now we talk about doing that a lot of times. We say, well, we're just going to go in and get a few things, but we'll go down every aisle like we're really looking for something on our list, but really we're just looking to see if something wants to jump out at us. So, you know, it's a great thing. Anybody that hadn't tried it, I would recommend you try it. You know, go to these grocery stores. I'm not going to advertise for them. If these grocery stores, you know, if they want to sponsor a show, they can write us in, and we'll sit down and interview maybe the manager or something next week. But any of these grocery stores, most of especially your bigger grocery stores, go to their website, or some of them have an app that you can go to and download on your phone or your iPad, and then just do your groceries. Hey, it's great. It's great for people that's in a hurry. I mean, it's just a good thing. Who would have thought it a few years ago that you could actually do that, though? Now, some people say that's just kind of lazy, but I don't. I say it's smart because you're saving money. You know, I've talked several times about my chickens. Now, I love my chickens. We're down right now, though. We only have 6 hens and got 3 roosters. So every rooster has 2 hens. but it really don't work that way. There's always one dominant rooster that kind of controls everything. But I have been trying to get one of my hens to start setting on some eggs so I can hatch out some more babies. Several of my hens, like I say, I've only got 6, and several of them are getting old, and so I need to have some more babies. Now, sure, I could go to a trade day, or I could go to some of these places and just buy me some, but it's just not as good when you go buy your chickens as if you can raise them. Now, my wife used to name every one of ours. Every chicken had a name. Now, right now, every cow has a name, but every chicken used to have a name. So when you can raise them, little babies, and watch them grow, that's just something special. So I had a hen, after all these weeks of trying to get them, moving them and doing stuff, finally had one to start sitting the other day. So now we have a pen inside the barn that's out of the big chicken pen. So I had the great idea, and I've done this before and it's worked, to put eggs in the little pen and ease that hen up and take it to the barn and set it on that nest. And that way she wouldn't be bothered by all the other hens and roosters. She could just sit there for her 21 days, have her babies, and everything be nice and natural. This hen wouldn't do that. I set her gently on those eggs, and she gently jumped up. She didn't want to sit there. So I thought, well, now, when it gets dark and I turn the lights out and everything in the barn, she gonna go sit back on them eggs. So the next morning I get up and I go out there, and she not even near the thing. She is as far away from that little box of eggs as she could get in that nest. So I said, this is not gonna work. She is not gonna sit. So as I walk near the pen, you know how they do. If anybody's ever been around hens that sit, they got that funny noise they make when they kind of frill up and walk around. So she was still doing that, but she wasn't sitting on them eggs. So you know what I done? I got those eggs and put them back in the big pen, and I eased her out, and I eased her and set them back down. That old girl's still sitting today. She showed me she was the boss. But that's amazing. I know some of y'all have probably done that too, been able to move hens into smaller pens so they can sit. But, in just a few weeks, it takes 21 days, just a few weeks, I'm going to have me some babies because I loaded her up. She's got a whole dozen of eggs under her. So we may have 12 babies. But I thought that was interesting how she wouldn't let me move her and make her sit. But we love our chickens, we love our cows. We just enjoy being on our small mini farm. But 21 days, I'll probably have one of those chickens up here, maybe on one of the shows, and letting you see what come out. As y'all can see, I am actually sitting here at a park, a walking trail behind me, and just thought it'd be neat because this time of year, people want to get out and walk, and what better place to walk than at a walking trail at a park. And so if you'll see right now, there's nobody behind me, and I don't know if it's just because they didn't want to be on the show, or maybe they done walked this morning. This is usually a hot item, a trail. People just love to get out and walk on this thing. They got lights up here that you can turn on and walk, and the restrooms, and and it's even marked out. I think 5 laps around here is a mile. So man, they've got it all worked out. But it's a great thing. Find you a walking trail somewhere and get out and walk and exercise, and it's just great. Now myself, me and my wife, we get out and we walk in our pasture. We do it pretty regular. I try to do it at least once a day. But people that don't have farms and don't have places, don't walk up and down the highways and take a chance of getting run over. There's so many people nowadays that's on their cell phones or changing the stations on the radios and all that it's really dangerous to be out walking on a highway. But if you can find you a walking trail, nearly every community has a walking trail, and most of them have them mapped out and telling you how many laps you need per mile and all that. So find you one, and like I say, and just get out and walk and enjoy yourself. There's nothing better than walking and just enjoying nature. And like I say, we love to do it ourselves. You know, something else at this time of year usually brings out too is people want to start having yard sales. Now, I am a lover of yard sales. Now, one of the worst things about me going to yard sales is I like to try to get the people to bring the price down. I never want to pay what they got it marked. Now, it's just not any fun if you pay what it's marked. Now, my wife and I will get out and ride, and one of the most disappointing things we can do is pull up to a yard sale and it be somebody we know. Because when it's somebody we know, then I can't negotiate the price because then they think I'm cheap. But you know, if it's somebody you don't know, then you can sit there and go back and forth on that price. And you know, I have found things that was way undermarked anyway at a yard sale. But you know, I just can't pay the full value at a yard sale. It's just not any fun. Yard sales are supposed to be fun. Now, I know a lot of people do it to raise money for themselves and stuff, but 90% of the people do yard sales to get rid of what they consider is junk. Now, we've had several at our house, and people are surprised when they come up and make us an offer on something. We don't negotiate. We say, load it. Let us help you load it. But most people ain't like that now. The people, oh no, this is my great grandfather's, and we've been keeping it in the family for a while, and it's really undervalued now. Well, you know, don't believe that stuff. Try to negotiate. I have fun. We used to do this yard sale big thing. It started in Gadsden and ended up in Ohio. We done that several times. Took my in-laws with us, and they loved it too. And we'd get up, we'd go in a car because we wasn't gonna buy a whole lot of stuff most time because people wouldn't negotiate. But we loved it. We loved it. I mean, we just you can find some good things at a yard sale. But you know, if you're having a yard sale, you know, do it with joy in your heart and let these people negotiate with you, because most people just like me. Hey, I'd pay you any price you got marked on it, but it's just not as much fun. I like to negotiate. But I love yard sales, so it's getting that time when you get out and start walking on the walking trail. While you're doing that, start planning your yard sale, because everybody's got junk at home they need to get rid of. You know, something else this time of year brings memories to me is Regina and I love to travel. We love to travel. We love to take summer vacations. Now, one of the things about us, and now a lot of people think we're weird, we just wake up, pack, and get in the car and go. Now, you all know people that takes vacations and they've got it all planned out at 9:05. We're going to leave in the car 9:17. We're going to turn and ask Joey if he wants something to eat. 9:47, we're going to see who needs a restroom. I mean, they got it all planned out. And people will say, well, we're not going to stop until we get to this place or that place. Hey, we've been on trips before, and we had stopped less than a mile and get us something to eat or use a restroom or something. We never like to plan our vacations. Now, we take all kind of trips. A couple of years ago, we went out to the Midwest. We went to Kansas and Oklahoma and ended up in South Dakota, as far up there, and spent the night. Come back to Missouri and Iowa. I mean, we just didn't have any of it planned, not any of it, and we loved it. We just loved it. You know, probably one of our most favorite destinations, of course, is we love to go to D.C. You know, one of our first shows here was when we was in D.C. back last July. We love Chicago. We took the grandkids up to Chicago a few years ago, and you know, you can't go to Chicago without eating pizza. I mean, they got those pizza places up there with pizza that thick, and just your regular pizza weigh about 10 pounds. You just can't hardly beat that. We love that. And we have got in the car several times and just drove to a place that had a cheesecake factory. Now, I don't know about you, but now Regina and I don't pass a cheesecake factory. If we see one, we going. We drove all the way to Ohio one time just to eat a cheesecake factory. Was on the little tourist bus in Honolulu, going down the road and seen one and had to hop off real quick because it was lunchtime and we wanted a cheesecake factory. We've been to Boston, and I mean, if we know where a cheesecake factory, we gonna eat there. We love it. We just love Cheesecake Factories. So it's coming up. Summer's here. Summer's here. I don't know about officially. It may be still spring officially, but look, when it gets in the 90s, to me, I call it summer. So start planning your vacation, but don't plan it. Just plan to get in the car and go. Bet you'd love it. And I'll tell you something else. I bet your kids would love it. When you don't have all those rules and regulations, you just say, we're going to get in the car and go. Pack your swimsuit, pack you a jacket because it might be cool at night where we're going, but just pack some stuff and let's go. Hey, look, I appreciate you watching again. I love doing our little show here. And, I love to spit out these facts to you and just fill you full of knowledge. But, it's always a lot of fun. I appreciate you watching. Like I say, our viewership's going up over 12,000 last week. The week before that was over 15,000. And, we just continue to get better and better. But I want to go back and thank Andy Johnson Builders Incorporated from Summerville, Alabama. Andy Johnson's Builders was sponsoring this show tonight, and I appreciate that. You can go to their website at andyjohnsonbuilders.com and pull up any information you need. And remember, they'll come and build on your lot, or they can build on theirs. It's up to you. But they do a great job, and they're fast, and you won't regret calling Andy Johnson Builders in Summerville, Alabama. Hey, look, I've said a lot of stuff here tonight, but just remember, everything that I say, it's just my opinion.